Hello. This is not your official hello. This is a test hello. It's a test hello. Your official hello will come in about 5 to 10 minutes because we have some people who are running late. So continue to mill about. Now we know the mic is turned on, and we will start in 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you. Good morning. This is now the official good morning. If you were here earlier for the fake good morning, we're now at the official moment. Welcome to University's annual Prize Day ceremony. Today we will celebrate the values of our school, the ideals that we prize, by honoring individuals who have excelled in opening their hearts and their minds and in pursuing excellence through academic, creative, and physical achievement. Those who are being honored today have done exemplary work, but it should be noted that the work each of us does every day to support and respect each other, to take responsibility, to steward our community and seek out creativity, to commit to diversity and to excellence, that's what makes our school the place that it is. It is a privilege to be a trailblazer, and it has been a privilege to go to school with each of you this year. We have one member of our senior class who cannot be with us at graduation next Saturday. So I would like to begin our presentations by inviting Jennifer Thompson to the podium for the presentation of her diploma.
Graduating with high honors, Talia Alcobi.
The next series of awards is granted in honor of people, places, organizations, so I'm going to give a little brief background on the award and then introduce the people who are presenting. So our next award will be presented by Alexis Sutera. Ms. Sutera is a finance integration lead for Dentsu, a global marketing and advertising network, and a proud alum of Harvard University. She graduated with a bachelor's degree and then her MBA. She is president of the Harvard Club of Indiana, and she's also president of Jillian Sutera, a sophomore, and Brendan Sutera, the incoming freshman. So please welcome Ms. Sutera to the stage.
Thank you. It's my distinct honor to be here today as a representative of the Harvard Club of Indiana to present the Harvard Book Prize this year. The Harvard Book Prize is awarded to an exemplary junior by the Harvard Club. Prize winners display excellence in both scholarship and non-academic fields. This year's book prize winner has shown academic excellence, navigating 5 APs while receiving College Board National Hispanic recognition. She is active in the language program here at university, has studied abroad, and has been recognized for her excellence in the Spanish program. She is also active in the music program and has been recognized with the Director's Award. Outside of school, she's deeply involved in her community. She focuses on eliminating poverty and food insecurity. I would like to present this year's Harvard Book Prize to Bia Machado Lacerda. Well, we will have a book waiting for her. She may still be in her mentor meetings,
Yes.
enjoying breakfast, so
Thank you.
hang on to
All
it.
right, thank you. Sorry. Jeff Lewis, a founding trustee of the school, and his wife Paula initiated the Schmidt Award to honor a university high school junior who demonstrates extraordinary service. This award was founded to honor Mrs. Lewis's father, who was a lifelong high school educator and had a particular dedication to community service. The Schmidt Award winner receives a plaque and a monetary award. The faculty chooses the recipient at the end of each academic year, and the winner is announced on Prize Day. I'd like to invite up Melissa Carraher and Samruthi Patankar for the Schmidt Award.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samruthi Patankar, and I'm a senior at university. I'm last year's recipient of the Paul and Edith Schmidt Award, and it is my honor to help present this award along with Mrs. Carraher to this year's recipient. As Ms. LaMagdalene said, Jeff Lewis, a founding trustee of the school, and his wife Paula initiated the Schmidt Award to honor a university high school junior who demonstrates extraordinary service. This community service award was founded to honor Mrs. Lewis's father, who was a lifelong high school educator with a particular dedication to community service. The Schmidt Award winner receives a plaque and a check for $250. The faculty chooses the recipient at the end of the academic year, and the winner is announced on prize day. Please welcome Ms. Carraher to speak further about this year's recipient.
Good morning. The student receiving this year's Schmidt Award is a student that exemplifies stewardship and service. They work to serve the community, never asking for the spotlight and not doing it for the glory. They truly serve from the heart and work to make the spaces around them better. This student has spent countless hours working as a peer tutor, guiding her classmates and lifting them up. They are involved in many different student organizations, and they have a very heavy course load. It can be easy to get lost in academics and extracurriculars, but this student always finds time for others. Although Spanish Honor Society and National Honor Society require community service hours, it is never a struggle for the student to complete them naturally. It is not just a check mark in a box. She's already so active that she's like, all right, does more. She spends hours a week working with Bright Lane, an organization that works to interrupt the cycle of homelessness with academic support for students. She also organized a drive for supplies for the students and their families in Bright Lane to ensure that they have the best experience possible. I could go on and on about this student, and I'm so excited that they are being recognized for everything they have done and everything they continue to do. I am proud to present this year's Schmidt Award to Emily Ganter.
This is the part of the program where I ad lib. Because she was diligently off setting up the second half of today, which is our Olympic celebration, Bia, would you please come up on stage and be honored for the Harvard Book Award?
Congratulations on receiving the Harvard Book Club Prize.
University alumnus Kyle Suiko was driven by his curiosity, exploring topics ranging from Bitcoin and economic policy to artificial intelligence. He was a person unparalleled in his dedication to these topics, eager to learn more and share his interest in the world. His curiosity was something that brightened the environment around him as well. It was infectious, expanding a knowledge that others had around him and for the topics he focused on. This award recognizes a neurodiverse student whose own curiosity mirrors Kyle's and is supported by the family of Kyle's good friend and fellow UHS alum, Christian Moore. I'd like to acknowledge both the Moore and Suiko families who are with us today. And now I'd like to invite Ellen Wallerstein and Christian Moore up to present the award.
Kyle was my best friend and had been since I moved to Indianapolis in 5th grade. He was exceptionally smart and driven by his curiosity, exploring a wide range of topics from, as stated, economic policy and artificial intelligence to cryptocurrency, along with a lot of things such as the complexities of tax law. His neurodiversity was truly amazing and a gift that many of us could never be so lucky to have. Unfortunately, that neurodiversity often has the potential to bring with it various struggles, such as a lack of self-confidence and appreciation of the gifts you've been given. Kyle, despite his amazing gifts, succumbed to those struggles slightly over 3 years ago today. Because of Kyle's struggles with recognizing his spectacular gifts related to neurodiversity and the positive effect he had around others around him, this scholarship was created to acknowledge and recognize the gifts of neurodiverse individuals and their contribution to this community. Without talented neurodiverse individuals, such as Kyle and our recipient of this award, the world would be lacking in a great deal of the brightness and wonder it has. We celebrate many things on every prize day, and it is our hope that this scholarship is an effective celebration in diversity of learning. Neurodiversity is a tremendous gift to be acknowledged, appreciated, and shared with everyone. We believe that the candidate for this year's Kyle Sweetgo Curiosity Scholarship Award for neurodiverse students has demonstrated curiosity and has expanded his knowledge in unique, self-directed ways while managing challenges he faced, which gets to the core of what the Kyle Sweetgo Curiosity Scholarship is about.
Good morning, and thank you, Christian. I'm humbled by this opportunity to present the Kyle Sweetgo Curiosity Scholarship on behalf of Christian Moore and his family. This beautiful gesture to memorialize Kyle allows us to recognize and celebrate a neurodiverse student who shares Kyle's insatiable curiosity, diverse interests, and passion for learning. One remarkable aspect of neurodiversity is the inherent capacity for creativity. Neurodivergent individuals bring unconventional thinking, divergent perspectives, and the ability to connect seemingly unrelated concepts. Neurodiversity is a superpower. The recipients of the award for the 2023-24 school year parallels Kyle's curiosity and passion for learning. Kyle devoted hours teaching himself different languages. Our recipient is a self-taught musician and talented filmmaker. He is propelled by curiosity, which has immersed him in theater, technology, pet band, music performance, scouts, and cross-country. He is a critical thinker who believes knowledge emerges through invention and reinvention. Solving equations in AP Physics is less satisfying to him than researching why we use specific equations. Like Kyle, our recipient cherishes his solitude and avoids the limelight, but don't let his quiet presence deceive you. These quiet moments of solitude allow him to immerse himself in thoughts and channel his creativity to wrestle with a problem or ponder with an innovative idea. He approaches problems with 2 words: what if? What if I could improve this? What if this could be done differently? In response, the student invariably chooses the path less traveled, where he embraces rigor and the possibilities of the unknown. Please help me to congratulate the well-deserved recipient of the annual Kyle Sweetgo Curiosity Scholarship, Ben Gleason.
Scott Ray was a lifelong research scientist and statistician. He served on the University High School Board of Trustees for 12 years and is the father of alumni Abby, class of 2007, and Jim, class of 2010. Scott was a champion of education from a young age, particularly in science and mathematics. He relished educating others almost as much as he enjoyed the subjects themselves, and he was known to be a kind and encouraging mentor. Scott met people where they were and gave them the confidence to grow as students and human beings. This $10,000 scholarship will honor a student who values the subjects of science and mathematics as well as the teaching of them, just like Scott did. I would like to invite up Patty Ray, Scott's wife, to present the award.
It is always a pleasure and a privilege to be here at University High School on Prize Day. This day marks both an ending as well as a beginning for the members of the senior class, and I'd like to offer my heartfelt congratulations to you all on achieving this significant milestone, particularly given the pandemic headwinds that you all faced when you began your high school career. You have my warmest wishes for your continued success. The Scott L. Ray Excellence in Science and Math Scholarship recognizes a student who has both distinguished themselves in their academic pursuit of science and math and demonstrated their love for these disciplines by sharing their passion through mentoring others. Scott was a skilled scientist and mathematician and had an ardent love for the scientific method and for the logic and precision of mathematics. His greatest gift was to apply the principles of these disciplines to the solution of problems, and then convey those solutions in a way that gave others not just an answer, but an understanding of both the specific and the broader question that the problem framed. He absolutely loved helping others understand that which may have seemed unknowable, whether an impenetrable analytical problem or an aspect of physical science. Working together with friends, colleagues, family, to achieve these light bulb moments was his special joy. That joy, which Scott experienced when sharing his understanding of STEM with others, is certainly a quality of this year's scholarship recipient. Her pursuit of a greater understanding of astrophysics has brought numerous opportunities for her to engage others in science through peer tutoring, as a member of the robotics team, and in her community work, for example, supporting the development of a digital media lab during the recent renovation of a local library. And so, my daughter Abby, my son Jim, and I are very pleased to present this year's Scott L. Ray Excellence in Science and Math Scholarship to Kara Wong.
Audrey Lupton was a member of the university class of 2018 who passed away after a battle with rhabdomyosarcoma. She believed strong communities are more than a group of people in a common space. Communities are filled with people who deliberately, who intentionally guide and teach and nurture. They cheer for us, they cajole us, they hassle us, sometimes they even scold us into being better versions of ourselves. They understand that by making experience, making life for someone else a little better, making them a little happier, they make everyone a little better and a little happier. Her family created the Audrey Lupton Community Award to celebrate a person or group at university who demonstrates extraordinary dedication to community. Whether you know it or not, this year's recipient has a role in almost every event at university. He's comfortable on the stage, off of it, and running cables behind it. His passion for music makes him an easy exemplar of creativity, but it is a sense of stewardship, of caring for this place and the things we do, of making things run smoothly for everyone else, that makes him most deserving of this award. He's a genuine people person, and whether or not he remembers it, he wrote, "I really admire the relationships at university. The collegiality of the environment is evident as soon as you walk through the door. There are very few places that put such a high value on treating students as individuals. It is especially exciting for me because music and art creation happen best when there is a strong sense of community among ensemble members." And if you were lucky enough to be here last night and you saw the concert and you saw the tribute that his graduating choir students gave to him, and you saw the people who spoke out about his ability to create relationships and inspire joy, you really understand this. Like any good conductor, he makes the collective symphony of this place work, helping us with our entrances and establishing our tone and tenor with supreme grace. On behalf of the Lupton family, it is my honor to present the Audrey Lupton Community Award to our resident extrovert, Daniel Knox. Physical achievement is a core part of university's mission. Oh, good, I wanted to make sure I was matching the slides. Physical achievement is a core part of university's mission, and the Career Athletic Achievement Awards honor those students who have displayed a commitment not just to their sport, but to improving themselves and improving the school as a whole through their work and performance in athletics. I would like to invite up Coach Jamie McDougall and Coach Brandon Hogan to present the Career Athletic Achievement Awards.
As Ms. Ray just said, this is, thank goodness, the last class that will start off by talking about the headwinds of the pandemic that led us into their high school experience. But the beautiful thing that in those headwinds, there was a whisper about University High School that we hadn't quite heard before. That whisper came out on the soccer field with Lede and a dedicated group of students out running and jumping and throwing things in the midst of a lot of questions happening in the world. And that tradition continued to unfold under the tutelage of Deshaun Holder, who started to build this sense of an indoor track and field season in addition to an outdoor track and field season. And this year was continued by the spirit of this senior class. We don't have a physical track on our property, you may have noticed. But at the first meet of the year, outdoor meet of the year, at another school that Nancy Webster likes to talk about frequently, whose initials begin with a P, started by saying, as they were shoving endless ribbons into an envelope, "You guys have a track team, and you're winning." And they just kept shoving envelopes in. And this particular award winner this year of the Career Achievement Award has been a key player in that. As a sprinter, you rely on your starting blocks. When you first get to the line, there are 3 commands that you hear, but when that first command comes, on your mark, you have to step into your lane, and every race your lane is different. It could be between lanes 1 and lane 10, and you've got to figure out what's the best vantage point to run your best race. And this runner always knew exactly how to set her blocks. But when she sets her blocks, she sets it not just for her success, but for the success of her teammates. She checks her distance and is always ready when they move from mark to set. And set is the scariest moment because as your hips rise, you have to put as much of your body into from kinetic energy so that it can transfer into potential, that you can have a powerful start. And although she was always quiet, she was always willing to take that risk. And when it was time to go, she exploded. And the best thing was to watch her run because everybody thought in the first 100 meters of every race, wow, was she going fast. And then every meter she would continue to get faster. And that speed has led her to now hold 6 school records for track and field. She holds the record. Yeah. There are about 9 running races that you can hold records in. So holding the record in the 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash, 400-meter dash, 4x100-meter relay, 4x200-meter relay, 4x400-meter relay, and most importantly, the track record in our hearts. Please recognize Lily Hovda.
I'm here to give another Athletic Career Achievement Award. The acronym GOAT often stands, or is often thrown around loosely nowadays, but it stands for the greatest of all time. We often talk about LeBron and Michael Jordan, but I want to talk about a student today. This student may truly be a real-life GOAT when it comes to UHS, but I will let you make your decision on that. This student athlete has found a tremendous amount of success throughout their tenure here at UHS. First off, starter on the varsity baseball team, won multiple awards such as All-Conference and Academic All-State with that team, and they are currently still on their quest for another state title. He was also a very important member of the tennis team where he played #1 singles for his entire career. He has been the most outstanding player every year on the team, and he's won numerous awards such as, and are not limited to, First Team All-State, All-District, All-Conference, Academic All-State, and the Trailblazer Award multiple times. During his career, he managed to lose less matches during the entire career than any other player plays in a single career. He is absolutely amazing. He was the recipient of the Wilbur Schumacher Sportsmanship Award for the 2023 season, and he's an amazing athlete and has always represented UHS well. And it is my pleasure to give the Athletic Career Achievement Award to the esteemed GOAT of UHS, Owen Schillhouse.
One of the great joys for me about working here is that I actually like all of the people I work with. And many of you in the audience who are students might not really understand how lucky you are when you get to work in a place where you actually like your colleagues. When you do, it makes the work lighter, it makes the days more joyful, and it makes your time together all that more meaningful. And I can think of few people who seek to make their time more meaningful than Mr. Bradley. Whether it's reading about an obscure figure in U.S. history, like the XFL player He Hate Me, hiking and trailblazing in the Hoosier National Forest, playing Quiddler at lunch with whoever shows up for the last 14 years, Mr. Bradley is always seeking connections. To deliver your Prize Day remarks, please welcome Dean of Academic Affairs, resident superstar, and my friend for 20 years, Chris Bradley.
As we come to the end of another school year, many of you have thoughts about the future, particularly if you're seniors. There can be a lot of pressure for high school students in terms of thinking about the years to come, with many people, parents, aunts, uncles, teachers, coaches, all asking, what are your plans for the future? This can create an impression that you should be leaving high school with your life mapped out, that you should have a detailed plan of what you're going to do for the next 20 or 30 or 40 years. But events from my own life belie that idea. Leaving high school, I did not have a plan for the next 4 decades. I'm going to share with you 5 events that have happened over that time that greatly shaped my life and what I think these events have to say about the idea of making plans for the future. The first big life event that happened to me was right after college. Directly after graduating, I entered the Peace Corps. This was a remarkably powerful event in my life. I spent 2 years outside of the U.S. in a little country called the Gambia in West Africa, working as a high school math teacher and living in a small farming village. While college had given me a sense of being out on my own, it was still within a pretty defined structure with my parents paying for a lot of it. My time in the Gambia was the first time I was really in unfamiliar territory and fully responsible for myself. What did this experience mean for me? First, in some very real senses, I had to find out who I was and what I believed in. Being in a completely new environment greatly facilitated this. Second, it forced me to be flexible about almost everything, and this is a powerful attribute I've drawn upon since. Third, it was my first full-time working position. Being a high school teacher for 2 years ended up having a very big effect on my life by giving me practical experience in a field that I followed ever since. And lastly, it was also the way in which I met the love of my life. Carolyn Manley. Without entering the Peace Corps, I would have never met her, and the rest of my life would have been very different. This leads me to the second major life event, marrying Carolyn. I can distinctly remember being in high school, it was probably junior or senior year, and thinking that I couldn't imagine being married. I don't know if I would have said that I was never going to be married, but I would have said something like, well, if I'm ever going to do that, it's going to be when I'm very old, like 35. A genuine surprise to me was the idea that sometimes life just has other plans for you. When you meet the right person, and you know it's the right person, and if you ever have to ask yourself whether it's the right person, it's not the right person, then suddenly the idea of marriage just seems simple and the right thing to do. I'm a big advocate of the idea of marriage if you can find the right person. It's made a tremendous difference in my life because it means I have joined together with another person to travel through life. Life can throw a lot of things at you, and sometimes those things are going to be hard. What I know now is that I always have my best friend alongside me, and together we can figure things out. The value of a forever partner is something that I just did not know would be so important to me back when I was in high school, and it took meeting Carolyn to find that out. The third big event was leaving an established school to help start this school. In 1999, I was in my 10th year of teaching. I taught for 2 years in the Gambia, followed by 8 years at the Roper School. I was a respected teacher there, and things were good, and I really enjoyed that school. I had a lot of good connections with students, and it was a place that I was thinking could very well be the place that I was going to stay at for the rest of my teaching career. And then an opportunity came up. Chuck Webster, who had been the head of the Roper School while I was a teacher there, had left in search of the adventure of starting a new school. I stayed in touch with him and Nancy, and in early 1999, Nancy came back to Roper to visit. We were together for an evening, and she talked about the work she and Chuck were doing with the new board of trustees to start a school. I was fascinated by that, and I told her at the end of the evening, Nancy, I'm pretty interested in having some further conversations with you and Chuck, if you are. I knew at that moment that I was saying I was ready to move. As I drove home that evening, I was very nervous because I had to tell Carolyn about this, knowing full well that we had just the summer before bought our first house because we figured that we were ready to settle down in Michigan. With trepidation, I told Carolyn, and in her inimitable, very even-keeled fashion, she said, let's just hear what they have to say. Soon after, the four of us, Chuck, Nancy, Carolyn, and I, ended up talking about what would eventually become this school. We talked about what we had enjoyed in our own educational experiences and what we thought was really important to have in a school. After a few more of these conversations, we knew that we wanted to join this new adventure that Chuck and Nancy had begun. This was surprising because Carolyn and I had been putting down roots in Michigan, and certainly the safer and in some ways more logical thing to have done would have been to have stayed with that more secure life. But we decided to sell that house that we had just bought, move down here, and help start a brand new school that had no property, no building, and no students. But this opportunity showed me the importance of being able to build something that can last with people that you love. For a quarter century, this school has been a vehicle to express something that matters a lot to me. This life event also showed how several major life decisions can work together. Our experience in the Peace Corps played a big role in developing flexibility. Those 2 years of experience in the Peace Corps, doing without a lot of material resources, living in a mud hut, trying to communicate with people in the Fula language, gave us a sense that you can do hard things and new things, and you don't have to have everything planned out. The additional fact that we were married made a big difference as well, because I knew that I wasn't going to be helping to start a school alone. I would be able to work with somebody who I really loved to try and figure out this great adventure of University High School. Big life change number 4 was becoming a father. Carolyn and I had our son Gordon in the middle of 2003. This too was something that I had not foreseen. Earlier, I thought parenthood was for other people and not for me. But in a lot of ways, becoming a father was like meeting Carolyn. Once we had decided to do this, and in particular, the first time that I got to hold Gordon, it just changed everything. I knew for sure then that it was the right thing to do. Becoming a father made a very big difference in my life. Being responsible for another person, particularly when he's very young, broadened my sense of myself and where I fit in the world. It actually made me feel more connected to humanity, because the only reason that any of us are here is that our parents decided to have a child, and their parents decided to have children, and so on back to the mists of time. Fatherhood made me feel connected more to the flow of life on this planet. And furthermore, it also made me focus much less on myself and think about other people more and try and figure out how I could balance my own desires and ambitions with those of others. The final event that I'll share with you is mountain climbing. I have 4 great loves in my life. I love Carolyn, I love Gordon, I love this school, and I love mountains. My love of mountains started in 1996 when Carolyn first took me into the White Mountains in New Hampshire. This experience was akin to when I realized I wanted to marry Carolyn and when I became a father of Gordon. That first time I went into the White Mountains, there was something deep inside that said, this place is special, and I have a connection with it that I'm only now realizing. Most years since 1996, I've arranged my time off from school to be in mountains as much as possible. This love has taken me to the White Mountains, the Great Smoky Mountains, the Rocky Mountains, the Ecuadorian and Argentinian Andes, the mountains of northern Sweden and western Scotland. It's taken me to Everest Base Camp, and this summer it's taken me to East Africa, where I hope to climb to the top of one of the summits of Mount Kenya. My time in mountains has taught me many things, but 2 are paramount. First, they connected me to a larger sense of the world and a larger sense of time. Their scope and scale have caused me to think less of myself and more about the vastness of place and time that sweep all around us. A second and very surprising thing that mountains have taught me is how much possibility of growth exists in me. Being in the outdoors, hiking, backpacking, mountain climbing is such a big part of my life now that you'd think that this is something that I've always known and was raised into from the youngest age. But it wasn't until I was 28, 10 years out of high school, that I first went to the mountains. There are so many possibilities in life, so many things that we can love, and we only know a fraction of these at 18. In all likelihood, your greatest loves and motivations are still out there to be found. So there are 5 important things that have happened in my life: joining the Peace Corps, marrying Carolyn, helping to start a brand new school, becoming a father, and going to the mountains. Critically, none of these were part of a plan that I had when I was leaving high school. This is most likely going to happen to each of you too. There are things that are going to happen in your life that you can't even foresee now, no matter how much you try, because they will be genuine surprises. This is not to say that you shouldn't think seriously about your future, because you should, but instead of trying to plan in detail the next 10 or 20 years, you can focus more on what you think you can be reasonably doing within the next 2 or 4 years. And in that time, you can do something that you think you will enjoy, that you think is going to give you a sense of purpose, something that is going to be beneficial to others, and most importantly, something that will help you learn more about yourself and expand your skill set. If you do these things, you will be preparing yourself for those days when those unexpectedly important opportunities come up. As you get a clearer sense of yourself and a broader set of skills, you will be able to evaluate whether these opportunities make sense for you at the time. Critically, you should understand that because these opportunities will be unexpected, it will almost always seem safer to let them pass than to make the change needed to grab the opportunity. Therefore, there will be some times in your life when you will need a sense of bravery, trusting in yourself to leave behind what you know for what could be. While it might be a bit risky to make this departure, if you've prepared yourself and you have a sense of who you are, then you can grab that opportunity, and that will make all the difference. I've liked the life that I've lived, and in critical ways, it is not the one that I knew that I was going to have when I left high school. Where will each of you be in 20 years? I don't know, and neither do you. But focus on building your sense of self and your skills, and you will be ready when that right partner comes along, when the opportunity to build a new institution arises, when a brand new love enters your life. Your life will be the richer for it. Thank you, and best of luck to you all.
We are now going to have a brief, not intermission, pause while our first half presenters depart, and I am inviting up all of the faculty presenting in the second half to the stage. One thing you should know about the faculty is that they mostly all hate standing on stage. Which is why they're very reluctant, some of them, to walk up here.
I've never heard that before. I'll play it back. Oh, I know. I got you. I got you.
Jen. Behind the curtain.
Wes. Where's Wes going? Where's Wes?
Well, it could be
Probably
good.
Yeah. That's fine. You can see it. Oh, for sure. Six. One for each.
The seniors and junior freshmen and junior are Kate, Lucy, and Talia. It'll be Talia. And then I'll be going.
So, while we're working on the staging, I'll tell you one brief story. So, I have worked at university 20 years, and I've been here. When I started, there were about 125 students in the school. And Nancy Webster, who's in the back, never knew how many people were coming to a play. So she used to do all the plays, and she used to do all the musicals, and we would put down, like, what we guessed was the number of chairs roughly equal to the audience, because you don't want a room full of empty chairs, right? So, like, how to tell how many chairs there were was hard. So we'd put, like, I don't know, 100 chairs down there. And then the musicals were good, and things were popular, and people would say things like, "Do you think you will sell out of tickets?" And Nancy said, "We never sell out, we just add more chairs." So we have not sold out of stage space, we have just added more chairs. So each year, members of our academic department select a senior who has shown talent, scholarship, and dedication to their discipline. I'll invite a representative from each department up who will speak about the award and present that award. Our first presenter, you just heard from Mr. Bradley, had a wild, crazy idea to come here and start a school in the middle of a field where there was nothing but an idea. And now, 24 years later, whatever it is that you like about this place, you owe in part to Chuck Webster. So I'd like to invite founding head of school Chuck Webster up to present the English Award.
You can only start one way with this guy. Mrs. Dalloway said she would bring the flowers herself. Mr. Chuck Webster said he would bring the books and the pastries, of course, and a picnic table. But this year, Sophie Francis and Emma Laborski said they would bring open hearts, open brilliant minds, and unfolded the magical space that became a post-AP literature under the pines with Mr. Webster. So Emma and Sophie, these words are for you.
Were you just going to sit there? Good morning, everybody. So around this time last year, a couple weeks before, Alicia came to me and said, we have these two young women, and they've finished or were finishing all the advanced English classes, and we needed something for them. So I was asked if I would teach them, work with them is the better phrase. And I said I would, and so we started last year, or the start of this year together. And we had our first conversation a year ago. We didn't know each other, and I was used to getting my way. So I said to the two young women, well, let's just take 5 minutes and figure this out now. And the look on Sophie's face turned ashen. She, if you know her, she has a great freeze frame face. And it froze. And then while her face is freezing, Emma, of course, had finished all the sentences. Because she's the fastest talker I've ever met. What the talk was about was the fact that they had a class to go to so that they could see some of their classmates present. I said, let's just take 5 minutes. Paused for a moment. They were gone. They weren't going to miss class. Ever. So we rescheduled the meeting and figured out how to set up for the next year, which we did. And so I had 2 students and plenty of time. So when I would mark a paper, I'd mark everything, almost every sentence. Emma, thinking of her now, was not used to seeing her A-plus papers marked sentence after sentence. And most of the marks were good. This is good because, et cetera, et cetera. But if you have 2 or 3 hours to spend on a paper, you can mark everything. Most of the conversations, one-on-one, took 2 class periods. So they were inundated with information. Cut to the end of this semester, and I received the best 2 essays I've ever received at the school on Mrs. Dalloway. They were extraordinary. If you get a chance to read both of them, I would highly recommend it. They're remarkable. But there's one other thing I need to say, which is what I had. So one day during the first semester, Mike Hagan used to stick his head in, and he stuck his head in one day, listened for a minute, looked at me and said, "You're just along for the ride." And he was mostly right. What I got to watch was 2 young women who cared deeply about their work. They weren't going to take my advice and stay and be late for 5 minutes because they needed to get to class. Their commitment to their work was absolutely extraordinary. It has been my pleasure and my honor to have class with them. Thank you, guys. Come here. Girlfriend. Jesus. Thanks, Jamie.
To present the Charles E. and Rosemary Lanham Award for Excellence in History, Dean of Students, Jacob Thurman.
I've been lucky enough to have many great role models and men in my life that have shown me how to be a man. And in most ways, my favorite person to follow for the last 12 years has been Chuck Webster, except for when I have to speak after him. That's always not great. Historian Peter Stearns wrote a fairly famous essay about why we should study history. In it, he remarked that in the past, we studied history because one's ability to memorize names and dates was viewed as an identifier of intelligence. Those days are through. Instead, today, we continue to study history because, as Stearns said in this essay, it is essential to individuals and to society, and because it harbors beauty, we virtually must study it to gain access to the laboratory of human experience. Over the past 4 years, one student in particular has stood out for her desire to not only gain access to that laboratory, but to become its principal investigator. She was able to draw the necessary connections to past, present, and future that truly make history worth studying. Her desire to learn and eagerness to apply what she's learned is second to none. Her work in the classroom was impeccable. Her work outside the classroom, running an anti-racist book club, leading affinity groups, writing one of the best research scholars papers ever seen, despite her advisor, me, and even creating a January term class, truly makes this award hers and the very least we can do to show our great appreciation for getting to go to school with her. I can definitively say that I am humbled to have had the chance to teach and work closely with this outstanding student. I cannot wait to see what she ultimately cooks up in this crazy lab of human experience. It's my honor to present the Charles E. and Rosemary Lanham Excellence in History Award to Samruti Patinkar.
I'd like to invite Senora Mercedes Munez Peredo to present the award for world language.
Good morning. It gives me great pleasure to be part of this celebration. You all have made us proud to be your mentors and teachers. Prize Day is always a treasured occasion for me. On this important day, we have a chance to reflect on the preceding year and publicly celebrate the achievements and accomplishments through your sheer hard work and perseverance. This year, the World Language Department again had the challenging task of selecting a recipient for the departmental award. At UHS, we are fortunate to have several students deserving of this award. Abigail Adams, the wife of John Adams, the second president of the United States and one of our founding fathers, once said, "Learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought for with hard work, ardor, and diligence." This year's recipient is a student that I have had the pleasure to teach for the last 4 years. She is currently enrolled in an AP Spanish Literature and Culture and has continually illustrated a genuine interest in learning Spanish. She's receiving this award for her ardor, diligence, and hard work, commitment to learning Spanish, not just as a spoken language, but as an expression of culture and as means of connection with other people. It is evident that she excels in her grades, but more importantly, she cares for people and has hope for a better world. With complete certainty, this year's recipient has left nothing to chance when it comes to her own education. So it is my distinct honor to present the World Language Departmental Award to Emily Comparini. One last word. Emily, congratulations. Keep your genuine enthusiasm for learning and never let your inner ardor be extinguished.
Erica Postuma please come up to present the Science Department Award?
Each year, the science faculty chooses one student to receive the Science Department Award. We consider several factors, including a commitment to excellence within our science courses, as well as participation in independent research and projects. This year's winner has excelled in each of the science courses they've taken, including AP Biology, AP Chemistry, Organic Chemistry, and Physics. This student particularly flourished in organic chemistry. They found beauty in the hexagons and zigzag lines of chemical mechanisms, and watching their curiosity and excitement grow while learning how different molecules reacted and fit together to build complex molecules reminded me why I became a teacher. This year's winner has overcome personal challenges and truly pushed themselves beyond their comfort zone to tackle some of the most difficult content our department can offer. While they were committed to earning high grades, their motivation was an intrinsic desire to understand the material. This was never more evident than in the laboratory, always thinking several steps ahead, anticipating, questioning, and troubleshooting protocols. This student emerged as a leader in their classes. This year, inspired by a personal connection to the topic, they completed an impressive research scholars project which combined psychology and neuroscience. Their love of science and drive to discover will continue next year at Purdue University, where they plan to pursue a degree in biochemistry. It is my sincerest pleasure to award the 2024 UHS Science Department Award to Sophie Peters.
I'm going to bring up Dave Vesper to present the Math Award, but what I would love is if we could give him one round of applause, particularly those of you who spent the night here last night, because Dave, along with Stacy, stayed up all night with the seniors.
And then I have to add, round of applause from his summit man who also stayed all night with 60 of the seniors. Mathematics is the language and foundation of science. It is the most pure form of communication, a universal language that spans all the world cultures and is even currently being used in attempts to talk to potential alien civilizations. Like all languages, mastery of the foundations of the language makes expressing complicated ideas much easier. It is one thing to be the first to the whiteboard to explore a new problem. Enthusiasm does count, but when you have mastered the earlier work, when you've mastered the earlier language, then exploring a complicated idea can happen in a nuanced but very clear and quick way. That is what makes it a joy to watch this year's Mathematics Award winner explore a problem. When I say, what is the surface integral of a particular flux of a particular vector field, I can pause, and then I can hear, okay, the symmetry is polar, and so I pause. I don't say anything. I just look. The Jacobian is RD theta. I pause. And so the limit, the limit of R depends on theta, therefore the order of integration is R and then theta. Okay, I pause. And so then actually becomes the actual insight, the reveal. The flux of the surface integral for a conservative field is always 0. Boom. And my point is that out of all that went through there, that last piece is the insight, but you can't get there if you don't understand and have a facile way of bringing up all the language to get to that point. And so watching our awardee do that is impressive. Also knowing that when that just happened, next week when we're going on to the new thing, that insight is now in the library of insights, in the facts and the understanding that is being brought forward. It is this intellect and this continuously growing mathematical expertise and joy of mathematical exploration that gives me the honor of presenting the 2024 University High School Mathematics Department Award to Liam Commons.
like to invite Meredith Van Roy to present the award for excellence in visual arts.
Hopefully everyone will be able to understand what I say. I did not paint a picture, I'm so sorry. This individual has consistently impressed us over the last 4 years with not only their skill and technical abilities, but also the conceptual span and depth of their work. This student has enthusiastically embraced every opportunity to experiment with new mediums and is always seeking innovation and originality. Throughout their time at university, they have taken and completed all 3 APs. This is the first time in school history. They scored 5s on 2 portfolios that have been scored. One of those 5s was a perfect score, which is the top 1% of portfolios in the entire world. The students' positive presence not only brightens the art room, but shines when they are helping and uplifting others. This year's art award goes to Alex Altenberg.
I'll invite Callie Hartz and Daniel Knox to present our Performing Arts Awards.
All right. We're not even going to pretend. You can see me over that. Okay. This year's Trailblazer Award for theater goes to a person that may have been more behind the scenes, but their impact is undeniable and their contributions have been invaluable. They've mastered the soundboard, meticulously hung lights, and helped with fantastical sets being brought to life. But don't let their laid-back attitude and demeanor fool you. They are a quiet force ensuring that everything runs smoothly. They also learned how to speak Cali really well, as I would give some vague description of something that I absolutely needed, that I knew was in the ranch house, this vortex of where we keep theater things. Or I would hum some 3 bars of an obscure 90s song, and then they would find it that I needed for 10 seconds of a play. The response was simply always, yeah, I got you. From the untangling of Christmas lights for a Chicago skyline or calling cues, their dedication ensured that every show was successful. What truly sets them apart is their unwavering commitment to their peers and the community, and the simple act of just sweeping the stage embodies his selflessness and spirit, preparing the space for the next group to shine. The theater department will, oh my goodness. The theater department is going to miss you so much, my friend. I'm going to be a character now, then I won't feel anything. You are the cornerstone of so many productions, and as you embark on your next steps of hospitality, I know you're going to succeed so much because you're never afraid to put in the hard work. You keep calm in all the drama, which I apparently can't do right now. And most of all, you serve the good of the many. We are so incredibly grateful. I am incredibly grateful. And we all owe you a huge gratitude, even though you still owe me for that light you dropped. This year's award goes to Will B. Singer. I'm so sorry.
Talk about tough acts to follow, Callie, thanks. Okay, if you were able to be here last night, you saw some inspiring artwork. I got to go to the senior art show, and a lot of that pulled you in. So congratulations to all the senior artists and all the musicians last night. I still am like, I think I'm in the stage of denial for grief that you're all leaving. But it is my, pause. This year's Performing Arts Department Award I get to present for music goes to a senior who's an all-around great person, one of the friendliest people I've ever met. They're also an outstanding musician. When orchestra didn't fit into their schedule one year, they signed up for band. We've made similar accommodations before, like having a flute in the string orchestra or a violin in the band, so I was totally fine having a cellist in the band. But still, they went above and beyond by learning how to play the tuba, which only took them a few weeks because we didn't have a tuba player and they wanted to make a bigger impact in the group. They quickly became a leader in the band, organizing a volleyball pep band a few times, and possibly even like a cross-country pep band at least once. Essentially, they took on the role of the drum major of our band if we had a football team. I wish you could have heard the nice things the underclassmen said about them before the pep band senior night. They built sets, performed in musicals as an audio engineer, acted once where they actually got to pretend to play the cello again, and then served as a pit musician. Not only were they a constant presence wherever performing arts were happening, but they were also continually seeking ways to improve their own skills and enhance the larger performing arts program at our school. Their legacy here will be felt in a big way next year as others try to fill their shoes. It's my great pleasure to present this award to Ben Gleason.
To present the award for excellence in the technology department, Director of Technology and the guy who makes the internet work, Mike Cyrick.
Technology, at its core, especially in this environment, is meant to assist us in our work. It's meant to make things better, faster, more efficient. It's meant to be helpful. This year's Technology Department Award goes to a student who's taken 8 semesters of tech classes, and they've done really well. But at their core, that's not why they're getting this award. Where their biggest contribution lies is really in one of our core values, stewardship. This student's commitment to helping everyone and anyone in this community. Any tech problem, big, small, they're at it. They're on it. Quickly, happily, with a smile, with excitement. Like the technology that this student loves so much, they've been exceptionally helpful, and next year, like so many others that have presented today, they will be sorely missed, especially by me. His favorite class is what he calls Help Mr. Cyrick Do His Job class. So this year's 2024 University High School Technology Department Award goes to Evan Williams.
So, if you've already received a department award, you might have actually read the words on your plaque and noticed that we had a little error at the printer. So all of your plaques say for outstanding achievement in physical and mental wellness. But we're going to get you new ones. To present the awards for the excellence in the wellness department, Ladea Conde.
All right. So I am so excited to present the Wellness Award to this student who doubled the wellness requirements for graduation. Even though they had the opportunity to waive one of these wellness requirements, they proceeded to enroll in advanced PE sports management, advanced PE strength and conditioning, and not one, but 2 semesters of advanced PE yoga and mindfulness. In addition, this student is a varsity athlete who helped start and sustain our new baseball yoga ritual every spring. A few quotes from this particular student. This past baseball season, I was able to keep my cool and bounce back from a slump quicker than ever. I feel like I was better at handling my emotions and remained in a calm mindset the whole time I was down. Another quote, I came up to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning, but before I went up to bat, I took a few moments to do a few breathing exercises in order to calm myself down. I then proceeded to hit a triple after 8 pitches in the at-bat. I don't think I could have accomplished it without calming myself with those breathing exercises. The stretches, for the first time in my life, helped prevent injuries mid-season, unlike previous years where I would always have some sort of injury. When I asked what some of his biggest takeaways from yoga and mindfulness class were, he said, sometimes it's okay to just sit down and breathe. Everything in life moves so fast, so sometimes you just have to sit down and experience what is around you to the fullest. I love when athletes take yoga and mindfulness class for the physical benefits, but end up learning so much more about themselves mentally and emotionally, which is certainly the case with Jasper. I'm so excited for him to continue his athletic career in college and hope he'll continue to commit to his overall well-being while encouraging his teammates and others to do the same. Please help me congratulate Jasper Owens. This next student prioritized their time in their schedule to dedicate to herself and to her practice, which ended up meaning she took 7 wellness credits and 5 semesters of yoga and mindfulness, which is the new school record. She is in a realm of her own. Her gentle demeanor, compassionate nature, and seeker spirit has led her on a path to self-discovery and spirituality. There are proverbial old souls, and then there's this student, a young person who, when you meet, will feel like you've known many lifetimes. This is my experience with her as her former college counselor, her yoga and mindfulness teacher, and her friend. As an educator, it's one thing to watch students grow academically, but I've had the pleasure of witnessing her growth mentally, emotionally, and spiritually throughout high school. It's natural for teenagers to try on a variety of identities as they're attempting to figure out their most authentic selves, and lucky for her, she's grown into her most self-confident and grown in her self-worth by fearlessly exploring her inner landscape and coming into deeper awareness of herself and her connection to the world around her. The best way to get to know her is through reading her reflections about the yoga philosophies. So when asked to reflect on non-attachment, she writes, "By letting go of everything that no longer serves me, I release any fear or doubt that holds me back. I'm capable of anything I put my mind to. I think I've changed a lot over the years, but even recently, I find myself evolving in ways I never thought I would. I'm letting go of any worries about the past or future. I allow myself to be here now. Practicing manifestation as well as gratitude has really helped me feel comfortable with where I'm at. I attract loving energy in my highest good. I attract abundance in all aspects. I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am unique, I am love, I am light. and I'm filled with high vibrations. I allow myself to feel all the feelings and let go of what doesn't serve me. Whether it's hula hooping in the parking lot of a Dead & Company show, or starting the school's first spiritual awakening club, she is not living the life of a typical teenager, and that's what makes her so special. She doesn't look for validation from others, and she's serious about maintaining integrity and cleanliness of her mind, body, and soul. She shines in her creativity and entrepreneurial spirit as she creates beautiful custom art and jewelry through her company, Hippie Fairy Art. Girl after my own heart. You can find her vending at local festivals when she's not twirling to live music or sharing her own special talents playing the singing bowls for Sound Bath meditations right here in her school community. I can honestly say she's the most dedicated student I've had to her yoga practice, both on and off the mat. And in many ways, I consider her to be one of my greatest teachers. As her friend, I couldn't be more excited for her to continue her journey of growth and self-discovery at Naropa University in Colorado. And although I'll miss starting each morning next to her on the yoga mat, I look forward to seeing all the ways she'll continue to shine from the inside out. She's present, self-assured, and ready for this next chapter, and it is my honor to present Bella Cersei with the Wellness Award.
When they sought to start a high school where students were taken seriously, placed at the center of their educational experience, university's founding trustees began with a series of enduring values they hoped the community members would each live out. Each year, University High School honors the vision of our founders by presenting core value awards. These awards are given to 6 senior students chosen by the faculty for their commitment to and embodiment of university's 6 core values: diversity, excellence, creativity, stewardship, personal responsibility, and mutual respect, support, and trust. We take time on our last faculty workday of the year to discuss the senior class, the individuals within it, and arrive at 6 exemplars. And these students are deserving and honorable, but what I really wish is that you could all hear everything that we say about everyone in the senior class, because there are always many of you who are living these things and carrying them forward. To present our 6 core value awards, I will call up the recipient and their mentor, and the mentor will speak a little bit about the student and present the award. So I'd like to invite up Tasha Barger and Alex Altenberg.
Okay, from the first day that Alex stepped on the university campus, developing meaningful relationships was something that was on her mind. Through a year of hybrid learning, we often spoke in mentoring about how challenging it was to meet and get to know others. Looking back over the last 4 years, it's apparent in how successful she has been with that endeavor. Alex is one of the best humans that I have been so lucky to know. I think she often underestimates how powerful a friend and ally she is to others. When in a conversation with Alex, she literally and metaphorically leans into the conversation, giving you her full attention and focus. She checks in with others when she knows that they are struggling. She's the person who makes sure no one ever feels left out. Alex is the student who asks teachers how they are and always says goodbye and thank you before she leaves class. If someone is in need of help, she always offers help, even if it's at her own expense. If you are lucky to be in Alex's orbit, you know she genuinely cares about you, not to mention, she also gives the fiercest hugs. While here at university, her creative endeavors have been multifaceted. Alex has not only excelled in the arts, but she has envisioned and brought to life sets for plays and musicals. She has used rats and fish to showcase, in her words, the hierarchical systems and individual agency of American work culture. And she's also sculpted and painted many, many feet. If you know, you know. Academically, she's consistently sought out coursework that challenges and engages her very active mind. She makes connections and asks questions, always striving for deeper understanding. She has a thirst for knowledge, which is apparent in every aspect of her life. I asked several of her friends and teachers for words they would use to describe her, and here are some of the things that was said. Exceptional, altruistic, brilliant, insatiably curious. She has a profound ability to explore vast perspectives with her heart, mind, and spirit. Bright, attentive, humble, thoughtful, enthusiastic, inquisitive, kind, and welcoming. She reminds me of why I became a teacher. And this is my personal favorite. Someone who is genuinely, visibly excited to explore the nuances of a multivariate calculus problem. You can guess who that came from. And the list goes on. Her impact on others is clearly reflected in these words. Getting to share these last 4 years with Alex has been such a gift, as is her presence in our community. Alex, thank you for our conversations. Thank you for always leaning in and for being such a role model for all of us. I hope you never underestimate how meaningful an impact you have on others, how beautiful your soul shines, and what an important legacy you leave behind. I know I am better for knowing you. I am honored to present a 2024 University High School Core Value Award to Alexander Altenberg. Okay, we gotta get a picture.
For our next Core Values Award, I'd like to bring back up Mike Cyrick to present to Jackson Bledsoe.
So the most challenging part of presenting Jackson this award was deciding where to begin. Do I start at freshman year, where this excited, kind of wide-eyed kid showed up in my office just ready to soak up everything he could about his new school? Do I talk about the academic excellence? Because in the classroom, this kid gets it done. 4 years, and man, he gets it done. Or do I fast forward a couple years to when Jackson not only understood this place, but really started to truly embody our core values? Maybe, I thought, maybe I could start talking about the leadership he's shown in Black Affinity, the incredible work he did organizing and doing presentations and trivia for Black History Month. An immense amount of work, so well done. Or how he organized the Black Affinity Cookout that helped raise funds for next year's HBCU bus tour. I mean, the kid spent a ton of time and energy organizing an event to raise money so that future students could take a bus trip that he found so valuable. Perhaps it's his captaincy on the boys' basketball team. I start there. His leadership he displayed on the court, in the locker room, the impact he's had on younger players. I don't know, that'd be a good place to start. Could start talking about the work he did at the new student retreat the last couple of years, how he's mentored so many of our younger students. And I don't mean just for the couple days of the retreat. After they're back and they're trying to find their way through their new school, Jackson's there, supporting, respecting, guiding every step of the way. finding a starting point is challenging. There's so many places that you could start when you're talking about Jackson Bledsoe. So I thought I'd start and end with just saying I am honored to present a 2024 University High School Core Values Award to Jackson Bledsoe.
Next, I'd like to invite up Henry Johnston to present a Core Values Award to Liam Commons.
Hey, brother. What's up?
Thank you.
I've never won an award before, but this feels close enough. At the end of every semester, all the UHS mentors write letters home to their mentees and their families, reflecting on the year, goals that they have had, really just letting them know that they did a good job. Liam's letters are always really hard to write because none of the words ever feel like enough. I could tell him he's great, and then he did a good job, and then all of his teachers and classmates think that he's the bee's knees and all that jazz. But he knows that, and we all know that, and it wouldn't be enough. If the letter's too serious, I'm afraid that I'll seem disingenuous. If I'm too jokey, it'll feel like I'm taking it too lightly, and it won't mean anything. And I feel like the words need to matter somehow, because Liam matters. Here's an excerpt from a recent letter, so you can tell me how I did. Hello, Commons family, and Sam too. After drafting about 13 versions of this paragraph, I've concluded that it will be impossible for me to sum up the impact that Liam has had on my life in these past few years. Here's a bizarre attempt at a summation anyhow. I started teaching at university nearly 10 years ago. I've had hundreds of students, and over the time, the students and the years start to blend together. Many of them become vague memories, nameless faces. See a couple of you out there right now. Nameless faces that I can recall but can't quite place. If there exists some twisted alternate universe in which Liam becomes one of these distant, shapeless memories, it can only be because my brain has suffered an unavoidable head trauma. So far, I haven't been able to pull off a successful letter. But I'm going to try to find the right words right now. Ryan Gosling is one of the most handsome men in the movie business. And he's also one of the funniest human beings alive. And it's very frustrating because you're not supposed to have both. You're only supposed to be really funny because you had to make up for the fact that you weren't handsome, and it's not fair. Liam is like Ryan Gosling. He has the personality of someone who recognized early on that they weren't going to be the smartest person in the room, so they'd have to make up for it by being the kindest person in the room, the most generous, a selfless leader, a great friend, someone who could inspire others to be their best selves. And he still ended up being the smartest person in the room, and it's really frustrating. But it's also one of the reasons why we all look up to you so much. And I mean that. All of us do. Your peers, sure, but your teachers do too. They tell me. They all tell me. I went to St. Richard's in middle school, and they had this like first grade buddy system where every eighth grader was assigned a first grader to be their buddy, and they can do fun mentor-mentee things. And Liam, sometimes I feel like I'm your first grade buddy. And it's been a blast. One of the hardest parts of this job is how often we have to say goodbye. And I know this isn't goodbye. I'm still going to be really weird and talk to you all the time and like show up unannounced to your family's Thanksgiving, maybe. I don't know. But it's still a kind of goodbye to an era of sorts. Students come in as impressionable freshmen at the school, and they're eager to learn and grow, and they often have full character arcs, sometimes multiple. They fail, they adapt, and 4 years later, after they left their imprint on this place, we send them off into the world for them to do the same thing somewhere else. This school, 24 years into its lifetime, is built on the impact of all of its students and its graduates, even the nameless faces. Liam, you have made this community better on every level, and the imprint that you have left on this place will never be forgotten. And 20 years from now, when everyone up here is super old, but you're the same age because you randomly discovered the cure for aging on a bike ride or something, because that sounds like something that would happen to you, we will still be talking about Liam Commons. I am unbelievably honored to present a 2024 University High School Core Values Award to Liam Commons.
Next, I'd like to invite up Andra Edgel to present a Core Values Award to Sophie Francis.
Oh, Sophie Francis can sneak up on you. When you meet Sophie, you quickly recognize her competence and her confidence, great qualities, and she wears them well. But once she chooses to engage herself in an activity or to give voice to her thoughts, you realize there is something uniquely brilliant and beautiful about this young woman. Sophie started as a freshman during her hybrid year. Teachers used words like rock star, phenomenal, invaluable in her first semester comments. But she struggled to know how she fit in this new environment. I remember being concerned for her ability to figure that out. It seems ridiculous now. Sophomore year, she started trying different activities and kept excelling academically, but junior year is where everything seemed to really click. And that is perhaps what I love most about presenting Sophie with this award. Sophie checks all the boxes for our 6 core values, and the raw material was there her freshman year. But she grew into the expressions of these values in remarkable ways. A few highlights. She's a leader in GSA, Black Affinity, Theater Tech, and not just a leader, but one who has worked diligently to improve understanding and identify future leaders. She participated in IU Honors Summer Language Program, helped start the Rainbow Library, helped refine the anthology, and championed the JaNoWriMo J-term. She's a straight A student, and her creative expression through writing is phenomenal. I'll be able to say I knew her when. If she assumes a responsibility, it is handled. You can count on her. And she treats people with respect, every person. She is kind, she's conciliatory. Sophie embodies the UHS core values. It's who she is. I'll end with a quote from one of her reflections. Being at university has shown me just how important my environment is. When I was still trying to find my place, I felt supported by teachers and peers. And now that I'm a senior, I've really been able to take advantage of the school's resources to do work that I find really important. She's done a lot of important work here. Our school is better for having Sophie Francis as a student. It is my pleasure to present her with a Core Values Award. Give you a picture.
I'd now like to bring up Wes Priest to present a Core Values Award to Samruthi Patankar.
Should get it now or Samruddhi, everybody. Samruddhi. All right, so there is a reason we present the Core Values Award at the end of the day. Alicia alluded to it when she began talking about them. This particular recognition celebrates and acknowledges those students who have exemplified what we as an institution value most, and those things that relate to both the heart and the mind. While I have only been Samruddhi's mentor for 1 year, I have seen what she has meant to this community since the day she walked through the door. Yes, she's brilliant. Yes, she took 8 AP classes and crushed all of them. Yes, she earned an A+ after begging in my AP language and composition class. No, it was legit. But that's not what I will remember her for, or what others here will remember her for. We will remember Samruddhi for arriving at school before almost anyone else and staying later than most to help with peer tutoring. We will remember her for designing and teaching a J-term that focused on anti-racist topics and facilitating and leading the anti-racist book club at University High School. We will remember her for her pitch-perfect performance as Sharpay and the 2023 production of High School Musical. We will remember her for leading a spirited debate club in my room every Wednesday for the last couple of years. Having been on the receiving end of many of her barbs, we will remember her for her wicked sense of humor. We will remember her for her leadership in Desi Affinity and the Holly Run that she spearheaded and we had last Wednesday. And we will remember her for about 100 other things she has given our school. But we will remember her most for the kindness, grace, and the absolute respect and thoughtfulness she extended to everyone with whom she came into contact. When I found out Samruddhi had been selected by the faculty for this recognition, I reached out to former University High School teacher and Samruddhi's mentor for 3 years, Christopher Hinesley, to let him know the news and to see if he would like to communicate something to her. He wrote me back within the hour. So this is from Christopher. From the moment Samruddhi arrived at university, it was evident that her heart and her soul were focused on encouraging, supporting, and affirming those around her. She believes one of the most human of traits is the desire to help others. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. eloquently proclaimed, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" Samruddhi reflects on this question every day while she works to understand, to address the struggles of others around her, and to bring attention to issues of importance in her school, local, regional, national, and global community. Samruddhi is a most deserving recipient of the Core Values Award, and I am so proud of who she is and what she has accomplished. Samruddhi, we are all proud of what you have accomplished, but we are even prouder and thankful for who you are. Congratulations. Let's get a picture.
And finally, last but not least, I'd like to invite up Jennifer Thompson to present a Core Values Award to Kate Sampson.
Our mentoring relationship began her freshman year, with her and I sitting across from each other, in masks, awkwardly trying to make conversation with each other. Our first season playing volleyball together was during a season in which we did not play any other teams due to the pandemic. It was not an auspicious start. But I quickly discovered that behind that mask was a beautifully complex, multifaceted individual ready to tackle this thing called high school. I remember talking to Kate during this time and asking why she chose university, why she chose to come to us from her Catholic middle school. She explained to me then that she wanted to have an opportunity to try new things in a new environment, and boy did she. Kate started out her theater career as a tree in her first play, Into the Woods, but quickly grew to nab one of our leads in High School Musical and Chicago. She grew into a starting varsity player on our volleyball team, as well as one of our team captains this past year. She was the manager of the boys volleyball team, and according to their coach, she was integral in making the first season as successful as it was. She has been deeply involved for 3 years in stewardship, choir, film production, comedy sports, and art during her time at university. She has also been a strong academic student during her 4 years here, maintaining a 4.33 GPA. But beyond the accolades and grades, Kate is simply a spectacular human being. She embodies our 6 core values. She is creative, smart, fun, witty, kind. She doesn't take herself too seriously, but does take life seriously. She holds herself and those around her to a high standard. She's an advocate for justice. She believes in right and wrong, and if she is your friend, she will be your friend for life. I look forward to watching her navigate the world of film in college and beyond. I have no doubt that she will find success beyond her wildest imagination because she won't accept anything else, anything less. I cannot wait to hear my name first, sorry, Mom and Dad, on her list of thank yous when she wins that Oscar. I am so thankful to have had her as a mentee these past 4 years, and I am so grateful to call her my friend for life. And finally, I am so incredibly proud to present you with a 2024 University Core Values Award to the one and only Kate Sampson.
We have one last round of applause for all of our award winners. This concludes our Prize Day ceremony. To our guests, thank you for joining us. To our students, we will have about a 20-minute break. So at 20 minutes till 11:40, we will be back in Andrews Hall to begin the Olympics. Thank you. Oh, if you want a Core Values Award, they would like to take a photo of you on the stage so I could have all the Core Values Committee award winners up here. You did. I wondered why you were holding your pen.